Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Focal
Because
Conversation.
you know why?
I'm Michael Edwards.
I am mad and frustrated.
Well, I thought you were famous, though.
No, I was famous because you didn't have the recording on.
Oh.
So we had to do this over again for the 8th time.
But whose job is it?
And then you're still coming in with all that energy.
I have a question. Whose job is it to turn on the audio? Wow.
It's your job.
While
it's your job to tell me turn it on.
Oh.
There's no cue.
There's no accountability. You see, guys, you see what I've endured for the entirety of this season?
I don't turn it on unless I'm told or asked to turn it on. That's the one time you can tell me what to do. The one time.
Oh.
The one time. Let's make that clear. The one time. Like, can you turn on the audio? Other than that.
Oh, yes. And I was sharing, we're going to be having new merch coming out soon. And it doesn't go through a proper process, unless I give it to this person.
I don't know what artwork he's creating, but if I don't bless it, it's not going. It's not going to be.
I'm going to give something.
If it's off-brand, it's not. No, it's not going to be material.
Right, here's
so
to that.
He's got his work cut out for him.
Here's to that.
You have
guys.
the logo. You have all the colors, all the tones.
Mm-hmm.
The font matters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want braids in this because that's not the brand.
But there might not even be a picture. It may just be something.
Just make sure the font is the same and the colors match. If it's just words.
Okay.
So that's simple.
Or, hey, if you have an idea that you want to throw our way,
we will not accept it.
All right. Well, there goes that. Before we get into talking about what we're doing today, Natasha and I would like to truly thank you guys for riding with us for all of these episodes, for laughing with us, for reposting.
15.
Yeah, for reposting our videos, and it's been something I feel like that's been almost therapeutic, because we've actually got a chance to talk about our history. We've got a chance to talk about pertinent topics to when you're starting your journey, to finding a creative community, to taking the solo flight like we just recently talked about. So there's been so many different things that we didn't get to have, like when we first initially started our journey, and get to share it with you guys. So from the bottom of our hearts, before we get started today, we're so thankful that you guys are listening and sharing, and we're looking forward to sharing even more in the next upcoming season, whenever we decide to do that.
Yep, whatever he said.
And the reason why we're going to be taking a pause is our creative community is starting on March 29th.
We go from one job to the next.
So if you're here in the DMV area, March 29th is the first episode of season 9. It is
the creative.
Wait. It is our 6th season being in leadership. 6 years. Can you believe that?
My earring slapping the shit out of me.
Oh
Sorry.
man.
Right.
Yeah.
6 years.
Yeah. And we started out with our creative partner, Union Market.
Union Market was our first one that we hosted, right?
Yeah. And from there, I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for the journey, the creative journey. I'm thankful for this community, and I'm thankful for this podcast that we get to share with you. Anything you would like to share before we get started?
No. Moving on.
All right. Well,
the last one, we ain't gotta say much, right?
You don't want to tell the people anything?
No, you already did. You said us, we, our.
Okay,
everything was plural.
All right,
so
you're right.
We don't want to be redundant, right?
Oh,
come on, man.
No, I peeped that.
Yeah, you're wasting people's time. They only have that much attention span, and we can't keep just repeating the same thing. You say it, I say it. Come on, man.
All right. Let's get into it. Natasha, what are we talking about today?
Let's talk about pricing and your delivery post work, like your gallery delivery, how many images you deliver to your clients, how quickly you deliver it, how often you add more. Like, this is a topic we need to touch on.
And it's something that I want to say real fast. Disclaimer. And it's something that you said in the beginning of our season is, this is not the gospel. It is our gospel.
Yes.
And it is what has worked for us. And it is something that I feel like when you're first starting, it's the seed to you growing whoever or whatever your creative path is. So
Totally
I
agree.
wanted to make sure that we said it, because a lot of times people are like, well,
You
y'all
said,
said and we did, and I'm like, no, this is our experience. These are our shared
this is
experiences.
our
The
experience.
cool thing about next season is we get to share it with guests and get our guest, perspective and things of that nature. So, but right for now, season 1 is all about the Natasha and Michael creative experience. So let's get right into it. Let's get right into.
I'm ready to add some more people. I'm tired of him, to be honest. Like,
what?
yeah, I'm ready to add some fresh blood.
Oh
in here,
gosh! All right, let's get right into it.
And
So
he tells somebody else to turn on the recording.
And you still don't want to take accountability for that?
And I sit there and look pretty.
Oh gosh!
Yeah, so come on.
All right, guys. So let's get into it. So let's start in the beginning. All right.
Why this topic?
As a new creative, or new in your world, like I'm a photographer, because we talked about how you first started.
Yeah.
How excited you were and things of that nature. Now you're at a point now where someone is saying, "Hi, Natasha. I would like to hire you for a set amount of dollars." And we're not going to talk about. Are we going to talk about what your first?
I think we did. My first $50.
No, what was okay? So $50 is your first gig.
Yeah.
And what?
And then you looked at me like I was crazy.
No, I did. But I want to know what all in the beginning package. When first of all, when you first got your client, like let's talk about your process. Like when you first got your client, how did you handle that? Like, and how did you get in a position to have your first client?
I think it was about me approaching that one client at my daughter's school to shoot her newborn. Remember, I had this newborn phase, and I started shooting for the school, just doing candids. And she was like, "Oh, I need family pictures." Okay. Or one of her child had a birthday. She's like, "How much would you charge?" I didn't think of anything. I'm like, "Wait, she's asking how much I would charge?" I'm like, "Oh, just $50."
Oh my gosh, that hurt my heart.
Imagine shooting a child that's I think it was her youngest, running around.
Children at that mercy.
$50. I spent the $50 just having a conversation with her.
But how did you feel once you got that $50?
I was mad.
Wait, so you were mad off the rip?
After I got the $50. So the money didn't come in. So this is where we all gotta learn. I didn't get the money till post shooting.
Oh.
So imagine you do all the work, you exhausted as hell. And the $50 still didn't come. I go home, the $50 still didn't come. It came maybe a couple of days later, and I'm like, okay, I already spent it. I just owed, and I need to pay back.
Okay, so what did you deliver? What was your deliverables? Like, what did
I try to, when we first talk about this topic that we're going to discuss, I try to remember what my delivery was. I know it was through Google Drive, and I think I delivered all of the images. The edit I didn't do any edits really.
Okay.
Because I think
you gave straight out of the camera.
Shit.
Oh, you was brave. You was brave in the beginning.
I don't think I did much of edits. No. And I think that's probably when you cautioned me with Lightroom and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It was worth $50. You give me $50.
Okay.
But let me tell you, I learned from that. Okay.
So we'll get there. We'll get to that part. My first experience was a little different. I remember getting my first client, and I think my first gig that I ever did was $125. It's $125, and let me tell you something. I shot the heck out of that thing, but when I got to editing, I was doing the most.
So when you was in Photoshop?
Man, yes, because before I went to Lightroom, I did everything in Photoshop, and I'm just dodging, burning, and doing the most, doing the absolute most. When I'm delivering all of these images, going through Photoshop, all these layers, I'm just killing my computer, just making these grandiose files for this client. And the client liked all of the images that I didn't do a lot of editing to. And I was like, oh my goodness, like what is first of all, this is not worthwhile. I shot like all day. And I was just like, I was kind of bummed, but I still was excited that I was able to get my first client, and I thought I had to give them all of these things. I gave so much, and then like I realized like, no, this isn't a wave. This isn't what it's about. It's not, and I didn't factor in what we'll talk about later, is factoring my time and understanding that time was money, and that what my clients needs are not always trump my needs.
Yep.
And that was something that was a learning experience for me with my first experience. Okay, so you've gone through your first experience. You've gotten your $50. What was the pivot for you to say, okay, I need to, one, be paid what I'm worth, two, pay myself for editing, because that's another thing that a lot of times we don't factor in, and then three, making the deliverables make sense for you to give to your client?
I think at that moment I realized I had to build my worth. Right? Oftentimes we just think we're the shit, right? We deliver, we're like, oh gosh, I deliver 100 images and I need to get X, Y, and Z. Are you delivering the quality that the client wants? So I think I spent time, of course, we probably talk about it. I spent time understanding editing process, right? I think I was overexposed in everything, right? So I had to build what my look and feel was, what my worth was. Until I got there, I didn't feel that I can charge my worth.
Okay.
I'll take another $50 to practice, or we spend a lot of time practicing. So I use that time to kind of build what my worth was. Once I figured out what my worth was, that price went up. Let me tell you, went up. I started factoring, because I work in the corporate world. So I started factoring what I get paid an hour, right? How many hours I work, travel, where we shooting, what equipments are being used. When I first started, just the camera and the lens. Don't get me wrong. It took me a while to get to the off-camera
everything
flash.
else was coming from me.
And how much money I spent on the equipment, a lot of them was still here. So all of these things I took into factor. And industry standard too. It's like, what are people charging? These are research you have to do.
Absolutely.
On top of adding what your worth is, right? You got to figure out the formula, right? And then I bumped it up. That same $50 client, when I bump up my rate, was still willing to pay it. Was still willing to pay it. So
what do you attribute that to?
I think they saw a difference in the work and the delivery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had to have seen. I mean, oftentimes when I'm dealing with clients, I don't ask questions. I'm like, you here for a service? I'm delivering the service. Let's have fun. Music on. Let's just vibe. Where you take the time and you ask questions. Nah, I want to hear your business and all of that. Let's get that money. Let's get that work done. I'm hyped. So I think it was just a matter of seeing the difference in the work, how I actually worked. It's not just stand here, I'm shooting. I created an experience.
Right.
So then my worth went up. So did my price.
Yeah, I think the pivot for me was a little different. I remember I was shooting a wedding, and I was like, why am I doing so much work in Photoshop?
You were editing a wedding in Photoshop? Even I knew better.
You know better because you met me. Don't do that. I'm talking about my journey. Even
I knew better not to mess with Photoshop.
I'll say this. The cool thing about my journey is, I learned how to shoot and do things together with my friends that I mentioned before, with Jerome and stuff like that. But we're all learning deliverables and what our editing time is, because, I started getting better at editing, and I thought that this was the bar, but that time is money. And I don't think we really, as a creative, we get so excited that we get the gig. We don't look at, okay, the gig is not just that. Like you said, you got to pay to drive to the gig. You got to pay to leave the gig. You got to pay to eat.
Be at the gig.
You know what I'm saying? then let's not talk about the fact that your gear depreciates every time that you take it to the gig. Then when you come on, you got to make sure that you have SD, you have all types of things to save the actual images to. You have a computer, so you have to do all of these things in a timely fashion that you have set up with the client that says, I will have these deliverables by this time. You know what I'm saying? So after doing like my second or third wedding, I was like, there's got to be a better way. It's
Mm.
got to be a better way. And so when I started looking at what, like you said, the industry standard for
Yeah.
people doing, I was like, oh wait, I can call
Good job.
quicker if I do
Yeah.
photo mechanic. Oh, I can batch edit in Lightroom, you know? And that in and of itself helped me to figure out what my rate was. Like, okay, I'm gonna spend X amount of time in this, I'm gonna do this. And it gave me a total, not just the front end where I
Yeah.
arrive. It gave me a total understanding of what my worth is. And that's why even like today, right? I know I'm jumping ahead of things because I'm going to ask you something later. That's why today I'm not upset with AI being in a process
Phew.
of editing.
Listen.
Because a lot of times, a lot of purists be like, oh, what are you trying to do? Because, when we were at WPPI, there were a lot of AI culling things that I learned a lot. So I was like, oh, y'all do this? Oh, y'all do
Mm-hmm.
this?
Load all them bad
What?
boys in the Vodo and
What?
they call it for you.
Man, what? Man, Voto did a dope presentation. I was mesmerized.
Yeah, we lost you for a minute. You stayed there and we went off.
I was like, what? In a matter of minutes, you can have all of this cult. First of all, for some of you who are new to this or don't know what culling is, culling by itself, especially a wedding, is a laborsome process because
Yeah.
you're going through, say, say
4,000.
for me, I have the luxury of having a second shooter. So now I have all of the images that I call, but then I have to call all of hers because she has no work to do. She's just like, here, give me.
And I
give
don't
me a
mind.
card.
I just take pictures, right? Because I don't have to go home and do the culling, so I'm not mindful about the amount I pay.
So normally I just, my process was like I turn on a movie or a show and I just go through all of them and then boom, boom, boom. But now with AI, you can just do it in a matter of minutes. And I'm like, if I'm optimizing my time as a business,
Yeah.
not as someone who is trying to sully the process of photography or editing, I'm still going to have my imprint on what it is that I edit and create. But if I can use processes to minimize
the amount of time you spend and get your money's
my
worth.
money's worth. Ooh, you talking?
Because you spend 8 hours, you burn that $500 just for the post processing. You burn it like completely.
And
where AI does it in
and
minutes.
the cost of like just saving data now is just another thing. So all of these things lend themselves to understanding what your worth is. Now, so your pivot came when you said, okay, I have to be better. I have to make sure that I'm market value and things of that nature. Why was it important for you to get a market value rate as you increased in your understanding of your own style?
I mean, I think just the economy alone, everybody is into that process, right? Where you get your market value. I just knew I was getting better and I was putting the work in to get better. So why would I devalue my worth when I'm up in the value?
See, I don't mean to cut you off, but that's such a good point because I feel creatives or artists, we're the hardest to get to that point. We're the hardest to, because sometimes we feel like our art or our creations aren't good enough.
Yeah.
No matter how good
that mindset is just gonna F you up, right? Because you're gonna be stuck in that mindset. You will never up your value. I saw the potential of being better. I put the work in to get there. I cannot charge $50 when my value has gone up. I went from 1 to 10. The price has to match it.
You know what's funny? So I have the luxury of actually seeing.
You're just
journey.
About to tell my business.
I had the luxury of seeing. So every time where I saw the increase of your skill, I'd be like, you got to change your rate, right? You got to change your rate.
You just didn't allow me to get there. You had to pick. Like, if I was going to get there Friday, you telling me Monday, dude, let me get there.
No, because I would see the progress too.
And it's worth having someone in your corner who would say, okay, you can no longer charge this because I'm seeing you making progress.
Exactly.
So maybe that's why I get that mindset. If I'm up in my value, so does my rate has to go up. But it's a process. I'm putting in the time to learn. sitting at a computer, okay, trying to figure out Lightroom or calling you. I'm like, what is this?
Mhm.
Like, come on, I can't. The
Yeah.
price cannot be the same.
Yeah.
And
And I also, to add on to that, the clients that you gain that become clients that start with you,
consistency, yeah.
they also are the ones that say, "Hey, you need to increase your rate."
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've
Um,
definitely had clients
one of
tell me,
my one of my dope clients. Can I say? I can't say their name. The school that I won't.
no, yeah,
There's a school that I shoot for, and I love them because I've come in now. I came to them as a veteran photographer, uh, and I know what I lend to them as far as my skill set. But there's more to it when you kind of get to create in the freedom and you enjoy the people you work with.
mm-hmm.
They're the ones that be like, hey, you know what? You need to increase your value and rate. Make sure you give us a such and such percentage increase on your contract before I even like give it to them. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
awesome.
So the cool thing about if you do it in the right way and you have repeat clients or you have people coming to you, and this is not the friends and family discount that a lot of people like to do that.
Yeah.
I know us photographers and creators, we end up having to bring our cameras to parties and stuff like that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about
Ooh, that's a whole nother topic.
valued clients. Valued clients understand your worth too.
Yeah.
And they want to see you rise to the market value of things
right
as well. So, I mean, I think that's something that we really have to be mindful of when we're doing the market value or understanding your worth and understanding what value and deliverables are at the end of the day. So now, as a veteran, you're a veteran photographer.
I'm
now.
a veteran photographer, still learning. I will always
Yes.
be
we
learning.
We talked about that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which was on the last episode that we
Mhm.
posted. But I can definitely claim that I'm a veteran photographer that will continue to evolve.
Okay, so as a veteran photographer now, what do you measure your means of market value? Because before it was like, oh, I'm getting better, so I incrementally can do things. Now, what is your process?
It's about what you're asking for, what you're asking me to do now. I
Mm.
already know my baseline is I'm not
Mhm.
leaving my house
Mm-hmm.
for no less than this amount. So that's
Mhm.
my baseline. You want to add all this,
Mm-hmm.
extravagant pieces to it, I start charging based on what you're adding.
Mm-hmm.
The economy doesn't help too.
Yeah.
I mean, gas prices, we got to take that into
Yeah.
consideration.
Yes.
Mileage, we have to take that into consideration.
Yes.
So I always, when people approach me, I have a standard base price, but I'm telling you, this is the standard.
Mhm.
I would like to understand what it is you're trying to achieve.
Mm.
And if I feel that is more than my base, I will give you the extra cost.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm not leaving my house if you're not paying it. Not every client is worth your time. Not every client is a good client. You can pay me $650 for a gig, whereas somebody was charging you $300. But
Mhm.
if you're not worth it to me, I ain't doing it.
So that's the another part. You sometimes have to say no.
Oh yeah. If you're asking for too much where I feel like I'm going to burn out regardless what I charge you,
Mhm.
I'm not taking it on. It's not always about the money. It's also about your mental health. It's also about building that relationship that you want to continue. If I feel like if I take on this job, you're going to piss me off enough where I don't want to work with you again, I don't want to take on that job. No.
So
if I feel like the vibe ain't vibing,
have to make sense monetarily and as well mentally.
I want to enjoy what I do because oftentimes we go in, even people as hobbies, it turns you off when the experience is not that great. If I feel in the conversation, the back and forth, that experience, I don't think we're going down the right way. I find a way to exit. You know me, I block, I exit, I turn off. I find a way to professionally exit that relationship because I'm not the photographer for you.
One of the things that I learned at one of our conferences that we went to Shutterfest early in our journey, and one of the photographers who was dealing with business said something really really important as we get ready to close. he said, you know what? You have to know what your rate is before you even start.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts with understanding how much you want to make in the beginning of the year. When you set out a goal and say, I want to make X amount of dollars by December of that year, you can understand what your rate is by the projects that you take on. So if you understand that, okay, this is what my big amount is, each month you have to make that a certain amount of money. And if you're not,
But I have to also cut you off.
Mhm.
I did hear that, and then when I went back and just look at how photography is, you
Mhm.
also have to factor in, have you built yourself to the point where you can achieve it?
Yeah,
You
and
can't sit on the couch and think, okay, I'm going to set a goal for $50,000,
yeah,
and your ass is still on the
it's got to be
couch. You
realistic.
haven't built the
Yes,
clientele. You're not
yes.
networking. You're not building
Mm.
yourself. You're not building your value. You're not going to conferences.
Mhm.
How the F you gonna make $50,000?
Absolutely,
Right?
absolutely. And this, like you said, it comes with understanding too. You're receiving clients. Like if you don't have a pool, like the one thing that we have is we have repeat clients.
Yeah.
We know at a
You
certain
have
time of
to
the
build
year,
that
I'm going to have this
clientele.
client, I'm
Yeah.
going to have this. So they know, hey, okay, this is what his rate is because this is what the rate is. And it's something that I know in the beginning of the year, boom, I have this client base. I know what I can do. I know who's going to
You
be
know
here
they're
for
gonna
that.
need X, Y, and Z
Mhm.
throughout the year. So
Yep.
you can start formulating how much you're gonna bring in for the year.
Absolutely.
But there are people who sit, do nothing, and they have this grandiose idea that I'm gonna make 75,000. I have not seen you at a portrait meet. I have not seen you at a conference. I have not even seen you shoot someone just to build your portfolio.
Yeah.
So, the mindset has to match the work that you put in.
That's a really good point. I think that's
Yeah.
something that we can end on
Yeah.
as well. And speaking of ending, we get to take a little break.
Finally, this is where we clap. And
Wait, is there? I mean, is there?
so
this is an opportunity for you to say nice things to the
you
people.
want me to say the thank you?
Yeah.
Okay, so just want to take this time out to thank everyone for your support. This has been a great season. People often ask me, how did I get to this point where I'm talking on camera? Because, Lord have mercy. I still don't.
Shout out to Zach.
I still hesitate every time we have to film, but I feel like I'm getting better. I'm enjoying this. You guys are taking the journey with us. I don't always see your comments, but I try my best because Michael is more the one handling the social media. Once I record, I'm out. But thank you for the support. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the acknowledgement of what we've put into the community. I get a lot of that. If it wasn't for you guys, we don't go into this looking for credit.
Yeah.
But you guys tend to give us credit. So I appreciate the support. Keep making me famous. I'll give you the storyline that you need, and we'll always share our experience.
Shout out to
you.
Zach for actually having that conversation with you.
I wanted to kill Zach that day, but
ever since that conversation, you've been a pro.
We should,
yeah.
So we'll have Zach on, and we'll tell you how I became a little bit more comfortable on camera. With his guidance that pissed me off that day, but here I am.
Here we are. All right. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for supporting us throughout the season. This has been another episode of Focal Conversation. I'm Michael Edwards.
I am Natasha Henry, and I am famously signing off.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next season. Have a great one. And if you're in the DMV, join us at Portrait Me DC. The experience will be amazing this season.
Yeah, come meet me.
Oh, gosh. Bye, guys.